How many of our subscribers and viewers have a water problem where they don't know where to take the water to? It's one of the biggest dilemmas. So you're trying to fix this water problem. Where can you take the water to when you don't have a storm drain? Well, me and the men, we build all kinds of systems. A lot of them are really custom. Some of them are pretty complex, and our channel's meant for the DIYer. So we don't get into the real crazy stuff, but you know what? Leach fields, I think the DIY guy can handle. So we're going to take you out in the field, and I'm going to show you some of the work that the men and I did this summer. Stay tuned. Everybody's always wondering, what do you do if your ditch don't drain? What do you do if you have no storm drain? And people see a ton of our videos where we just take everything to a storm drain, but we never show all the more advanced, I guess. So we're going to start opening up a chapter, and it's going to help a lot of DIYers. We build a lot of leach fields, and we have a really nice kit now for the DIY. It's 100 feet of 6-inch knife cut virgin yellow Baughman tile. It's the heaviest 6-inch single wall pipe you'll ever come across, and that's why I always call it the Baughman tiles mini culvert pipe. It's just that strong. So we have a giant 6-inch manifold for the leach fields too. We were running some downspouts as well, and people always ask, give me a hard number, Bob. How far should I run this away from my house? You know, just get it past 20 feet. You know, 22, 23, 24 feet. Just get it past 20 feet. That's all I can tell you. Is it is proven that through capillary action, water can make it to the foundation of your home up to 20 feet. So just get it past 20 feet. So we had an active sump system here, and the gentleman was just tired of his ditch always being hard to mow. He'd get the lawnmower stuck. It was always muddy. Matter of fact, they ran a French drain down the ditch, and, you know, it did a little something, but it just kind of moved the water problem. That's all. So I told them, look, we just need to do a leach field and let all that water soak in to the entire front yard. Now, leach field's got to be level. Make sure it's level, completely level. You can't have the water all leaning to one side in a leach field. Leach field is level. So we're going to have a sump line come to this manifold, this giant dual wall culvert pipe, Baughman tiles, dual wall culvert pipe. Got a nice 6-inch manifold there. And we're going to end up running some of the knife cut. Now, we're putting 8-ounce fabric down. This gentleman, he wanted to handle, you know, this once and for all. And he was the kind of man that when he leaves this earth, he wants to know that the next guy is not going to be burdened like he was. So we went with 8-ounce fabric for this leach field installation. And I do recommend it. If you can afford it, if it's in the budget, I definitely recommend it. So 8-ounce fabric is basically going to last forever, period. And when you're using Baughman tile, the yellow, when you're using the yellow or the blue, that's virgin pipe, and it's going to last for 200 years to 500 years. So that's saying something. So here's, you know, the topographical view of this leach field. So you can see what I'm doing, how I designed this. I have a level leach field I'm pumping all the water to. Think about it. The water's going to soak into the front yard. It has to dissipate all the way to the ditch. The water, by the time it gets to the ditch, it's not going to be in high concentration like it was before. So he can mow his ditch. It's not going to be a muddy mess. So what the guys do, it's a giant burrito wrap. You know, we have these huge 6-inch chambers that holds all the water, the knife cut, and if you want to hold even more water, use big stone. For a leach field that you're trying to build to hold a lot of water, you know, you can use 2-inch if you can find 2-inch at a good price of just about anything. You know, go ahead. You know, you got big voids. Know this though, a leach field's going to dry your yard out. Like you're going to be watering that lawn during the dry months, wherever that leach field is. So we try to put a lot of the dirt that, you know, we dug out, we try to put that back over top of it because we already know we got to give the grass, you know, 6 to 8 inches of good soil underneath it so that it's not a burden to the homeowner. So look at the work this crew does. I love this crew. This crew's amazing. I mean, you can't even tell we were there, and that was, you know, quite a bit of work, quite a bit of soil disturbance, but just another great job by, you know, a veteran ace crew. I can't say enough about this talented crew. I'm so fortunate to have them. Love them. This is the shortened version of this job. If you buy our leach field kit, I'll have the complete A through Z. It's about a 30-minute video, so it gives you all the details so that the DIYer is going to get some extra help on our end. And I also did another video of another job, and it also is, you know, close to 30 minutes, but it's all the details. So it gives you the confidence as a DIYer, as a homeowner, to go ahead, purchase this kit, and we'll then, you know, email you the videos that you need so that you can digest all the information. And honestly, you know, it's really, really easy to follow. You know, I made it easy for the DIYer to follow. All right, so I'm going to leave a link to our store in the description of this video so that you guys can purchase that kit if you need the kit. But I want you to stay to the end here because what I'm going to show you next, I'm going to show you how a leach field works. I'm going to load regular perforated pipe like a 4-slot staggered or an 8-slot and show you how water just pours right out, and you need knife cut where there's no material removed. So that way the water could run through the entire system all the way to the very end, and the water, it will then slowly just dissipate into the subsoil. These chambers actually hold the water, and the knife cut, what knife cut is, it's a pipe that literally had a blade in manufacturing just make a slit in it. And that's it. So it's got knife cuts around it. No material was ground out, no saw cuts, because that's what 4-slot staggered is, or 8-slot. Material has been removed and ground right out. So that's not a good leach field. What happens is, you know, if you try to use that for a leach field, the water just pours right out all of a sudden, and it just makes a soggy mess. So you have to have the knife cut to do the leach fields. I'll show you the demonstration so that you can see how it works. Yeah, the 8-slot just pours out, I mean, just like a sieve. I mean, that's, all the water just pours out. Yeah, it's, so it doesn't get a chance to travel the length of the leach field. That's why you build a leach field, so that you disperse the water over a large area. We've been selling a lot of the leach field manifolds. My concern is people are not buying them with the knife cut. So we're going to do the same thing with the knife cut, and we'll show you the difference. Let's see what the knife cut does.
Ready? Yep.
All right, so the knife cut doesn't have material ground out like 4-slot staggered or 8-slot. It lives up to its name. It just has cuts in it. No material removed. The water travels the whole length of the leach field through these 4 pipes, and it's dispersed evenly throughout the leach field. Let's pick that manifold up like you did. You can see the difference in the knife cut versus the 8-slot. Now, again, this is for dispersal. We use the 8-slot for collection. I just want to clarify that with all our subscribers. If you have a water problem and you don't have a storm drain and you don't know where to take the water to, you're going to really like this video. I'm going to take you out in the field, show you some different water problems that the men and I this summer solved, and we're going to show you how we did it without a storm drain. Stay tuned. Welcome to the French Drayman channel. I'm Robert Sherwood, your host, and I'm going to take you along on another leach field installation. So we have a situation here where a sump pump discharge line was just flooding the front yard of a homeowner's house. The ditch bank was, too high. The water couldn't make it through the ditch bank. Well, get this, the front yard was lower than the ditch bottom. So that's a real problem. So we always, in these cases, take the water to a leach field. And there's so many different things that you have to do when it comes to building a leach field in a situation like this so that you don't have any issues. The list is long. Let's put it to you this way. The full-length video, which we send to all of our subscribers that purchase one of the leach field kits, whether it's a small, medium, or large, we send them the full-length video. We have a 30-some minute video, another 36-minute video, A to Z on the leach field build on site with me walking, talking it through so that the homeowners can get a better grasp on how to take their water to a leach field. So it's definitely, there's plenty of technique. It's not one size fits all. That's why we install 3 different leach fields. However, the 6-inch happens to be my favorite. We use it a lot. We use this giant 6-inch, culvert pipe. It's Manifold that's made out of 6-inch Baughman tile culvert pipe. So it's really cool. The tradesmen that weld up, all these special parts, they fabbed up all these manifolds for us. They did a great job. The quality and workmanship is second to none. These giant manifolds, we connect knife cut, Baughman Tile Company's Virgin Yellow knife cut, what I call a mini culvert pipe because it's so strong. It's unbelievable how strong it is. So we use the 8-ounce fabric in all our leach fields. You want to use 8-ounce fabric. It's going to last forever. You go ahead and burrito wrap your whole leach field system. And, you're going to see us put straw on some of ours. That's because we don't want them to freeze in the north. So we'll take the 8-ounce fabric, bottom of the leach field, go ahead and line it. And then we'll put our manifold in. We'll connect it to the sump line. And again, there's just hundreds and hundreds of little details and techniques to building one of these. And again, this one here was a real unique one, that's for sure. So there was some things that we had to do so that this gentleman's yard no longer held the water. Okay, so after the 8-ounce filter fabric goes down, double punched, we go ahead and we grab the 6-inch. Look at those big coils. They're as tall as the men. That's going to be the chambers that hold the water, and it's going to slowly, just like rain, enter the subsurface. It'll actually store the water. The 6-inch yellow virgin material, that's a pipe that's not made out of recycled material. It's virgin material, so it's stronger. And it's going to last for 200 years to 500 years. The recycled materials, they don't have the longevity or the strength. So that's why we use the blue pipe and the yellow pipe. They're both all virgin. So you can see that we used our FDM, super sticky, super stretchy tape to make that connection to the manifold from the sump line to the manifold. Look at how big those 6-inch chambers are. Monster 6-inch chambers. These are going to hold a lot of water. And what's nice about the knife cut, it's not going to saturate this area. It's going to hold the water and just let it slowly be taken in by the subsoils. So this is a pretty good sized leach field. We make them much bigger, but I think this is as big as the DIY guy is going to handle. You know, if you want to make a bigger one, you can buy 2 of our manifolds, because that's what we do. We'll do a double manifold. You know, we'll actually have, believe it or not, 50-foot runs off of the manifolds. So, you know, you're looking at 200 feet of knife cut 6-inch virgin yellow pipe. So, but for a DIY job, you know, this one here is pretty, I think a DIY guy can still handle this. I mean, he's not going to get it done in a day like we do, but, you know, if you want your leach field to hold more water, just use bigger stone. You know, then you got bigger voids. So now you have these massive 6-inch chambers that are holding all this water and letting it slowly leach into the subsoil. And then if you have big voids between the rock, they're going to hold water too. Then keep this in mind. You're going to want to burrito wrap this. If you're in the north, you can go ahead and, you know, put straw over top of the fabric and then cover it with dirt. And make sure, you know, you do 6 or 8 inches of soil, because it's really hard to grow grass on a leach field unless you have 6 to 8 inches of soil. This is not like a yard drain where, you know, you're worried about putting too much dirt on your yard drain or your French drain, and then the water's not going to make it to that drainage system. This is totally different. It works in reverse. You're pumping water into the system, and then it's slowly leaching into the subsoils. So you can see, you know, the guys are spreading the straw, and once they're done, you know, putting all the straw in place on top of the 8-ounce filter fabric that we have, the soil separator, they're going to go ahead and they're going to cover this with, you know, a good 8 inches. This house didn't have sprinklers, so I wanted to make sure we had 8 inches on this leach field. So again, make sure you have the 8-ounce double punch fabric. You go ahead and you burrito wrap your leach field. See right there, we took it right to the ditch bank. I mean, the guys did such a good job on this. Again, I have a really long video, and I'm not posting the videos that are crazy long like that anymore because they just don't get the views. You know, people just want the shortcut. So you get to see the leach field in, you know, here I am doing kind of like time lapses and speeding up the video so that we can get you guys all through it. But, you know, so we don't mess up the leach field, the guys go ahead and they hand shovel. You know, and this is great. You're using the soil, the same soil that you just went ahead and removed to build this leach field. So you get to, you know, repurpose some of that soil. The guys are shoveling it on there because we don't want the equipment to damage this leach field. You know, you have to be very careful with leach fields. You know, it's once you cover it with a certain amount of soil, then it's safe to go over with a machine with tracks. Notice how all 3 of the machines that are being used to work this leach field are on tracks. That way it displaces the weight over a larger area, and you're not going to harm your leach field. You really don't want to, you know, get on your leach field with a tire machine, like a big skid loader, rubber tire machine. You know, you could roll over it with, you know, a lawn tractor and all that. Once it's done, you're fine. It's okay. All right, so I'm going to show you right now why we use knife cut. This is 8 slot, and you can just see how the water pours right out, right at the manifold. So it's just going to leave the homeowner's yard just completely saturated. That's why we use knife cut. So that's our 8 slot in the virgin yellow. That's for French drains. That's for agricultural use. And then we have the blue high octane for yard drains. Now we're going to give you a demonstration. We showed you how the 8 slot just poured water out, and it was just saturating the area of the yard. It's no different than just daylighting that sump line or French drain or yard drain or roof runoff system in that one location and just causing this big, you know, soaking wet, saturated, the lawnmower gets stuck, the wheels spin, this muddy mess. So when you go ahead and you fill knife cut is just like a blade literally cuts the wall of the pipe, but it removes no material. It's not ground out, not saw cut like perforated pipe, like 4-slot staggered or 8-slot. See how it's like water droplets? Just water droplets, like it's like a light rain. So this knife cut pipe is for leach fields when used in yard drains. That's why we use the knife cut right there. All right, everybody. Until that next video.